wanna be my friend, you had better go and get a pen. And maybe we can keep in touch like they did in the old days. It wasn't so long ago. Oh, and I wish
Well.
you well. Oh, sign your
Pen.
pal.
I'll start doing one random word, and that's gonna be my style.
Go for
That's
it.
gonna be my new style.
I like your style.
I fucking ask you something, and now I blanked on it. God, how many times a day does that? Is that age? Am I 43, and that's why I can't remember anything anymore?
I think you and I
I
have
legit had a
overactive brains.
question lined up, locked and loaded,
I say this,
and then
4
we
times a
goofed
day.
around.
You were gonna ask me one. Like you were
Yes.
like, oh, you know what I'll ask him about?
I was like, I'm gonna open the show with this, and it's gone. Maybe it'll come back.
We're like, what are the hours for country school?
Oh yeah, what are the hours? Your first guess is it? Oh yeah, what are the hours for country school? Country town. What is it called? Countryville?
Country school.
I call it schoolhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should be schoolhouse.
Country school.
Schoolhouse. Schoolhouse, right? Schoolhouse.
You good?
Did you see Barbie? Did you see Oppenheimer? Did you see Asteroid City? Did you see the new Indiana Jones? Did you see the new Mission Impossible?
Yeah. No. Yes.
Wait,
yes,
hold on.
Yes,
Barbie?
Yes.
Barbie.
Yes.
Liked it.
I did not see it.
Oppenheimer.
Yes.
Liked it.
Yes.
Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Liked it.
Yes.
Mission Impossible.
Yes.
Liked it.
Yes.
Asteroid City.
Yes.
Liked it.
Charming.
Interesting. That's pretty good numbers for some summertime movies.
Yeah. Have you seen
I
them
think
all?
you're going to also like Barbie when you see it.
You've seen them all?
I haven't seen any of them, but I'm
that
almost
Barbie?
certain. I'm almost certain that you will
But
like
you've
Barbie.
seen Barbie.
I haven't seen anything.
Oh,
You haven't
wow.
seen any of them?
None of them.
Oh, Rory.
But I'm almost certain you're going to like Barbie, making it basically a 4.5 out of 5 for you.
Asteroid City's charming.
You got a half point.
Yeah.
What'd you think? You saw all those?
Yeah.
like
I
them?
haven't seen Oppenheimer yet. I'm seeing it tonight.
Can I say, and I'm only bringing this up. Obviously, this doesn't ruin anything. But my show in Durham, North Carolina, was a theater. I don't know if I already told you this. It was and so while we're doing sound check and killing time before the show, which is a lot of time, there's like an earthquake that just kind of keeps happening, and I go fucking Oppenheimer, and we all like have a laugh, but we're like, oh, they're doing construction. It goes on enough to where I go off to get food with a friend, come back to shower and get ready for the show. And my tour manager, Grant, he goes, you know what that shaking is? And I go, what? And he goes, it is Oppenheimer. And I go, what? And he goes, there's a movie theater attached that's like bumps up against this. He goes, that's Oppenheimer. And I go, that's what happens in that movie theater is that? Yeah. And he goes, yeah. And I go, I now know I will potentially be bringing earplugs with me, because if I'm hearing and feeling it through several walls in here, what in the fuck is going on in that room?
Especially if you go to like IMAX or
Yes,
anything
the
that
way
has
it's
like
intended.
enhanced
Yeah.
sound.
I saw it in IMAX 70 millimeter.
Okay, we know you make the money.
What?
I saw it on my phone the way Nolan intended. And truly, I was
saw it on
like, ah, God,
I saw it
so powerful.
on a plane, edited for content.
Formatted to fit this screen.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear my joke about that?
No.
Tired of putting on a movie and it says formatted to fit the screen. Like, yeah, I get it. I have a shitty TV. It's small, all right? I don't know what you're saying. You're a fucking VHS player. Pretty great writing.
Yeah.
Really.
I like it.
Yeah, I got to see Oppenheimer. I love that you're going tonight.
I think you have to see all of those.
I want to see all 5 of those.
Asteroid City's on-
already. Like,
yeah, it's out. It's on Peacock right now.
You can watch it on Peacock.
I really I loved it.
Good.
Daniel liked it.
You gave it a half point.
Well, I'll just say this
Okay.
about liking things this summer, and we'll talk about it on the show.
Pina
Listen and I do
coladas. You
together.
finally tried them.
The must list. The Offer.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
No.
It might be the most entertaining show I've ever watched.
Huh.
It is. You would go nuts
And
for
you've
it.
seen all of Friday Night Lights?
No.
I have, and I kind of agree with Daniel.
Rory.
That The Offer? I heard a lot of up and down.
There are some things where
No.
I'm like,
It
okay,
must just be right for me. It's
Even
also shot,
Breaking
it's also
Bad?
shot like it feels like it's shot on
it's
film.
so great.
Even Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad is, in my opinion, probably the greatest television show of all time.
Even just the
But
10 of us.
I would not say that. Oh, not just the 10 of us.
That's what I thought. And that's always been my bar. Facts of
Now,
life.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Facts of life.
Facts of Life that's its own
Head of the
genre.
class.
Dude, I love it. Do you like WKRP?
Of course.
Baby.
He just passed away, didn't he?
Really?
I think maybe 6 months ago.
No, just entertaining, just so wonderful. The guy who plays Robert Evans, it's fucking uncanny.
Matthew Good, do you know him?
No, I don't know
What else
anything or
would I know him
anybody or
from?
anything.
Well, he was in Downton Abbey. That's how I know him.
He is uncanny
Yeah,
in The
English
Offer.
actor.
You would
He's
love it.
fantastic.
I'm gonna. I don't watch
It's
anything.
L.A. in the 70s, people trying to make movies. It's
I've only really been watching one show on Apple TV Plus, and that's really all I've been watching.
Oh, I've heard that's
whatever
good.
it is.
Yeah, yeah,
whatever
but I've
it's
heard that's
called.
good. I heard they do
It's
good
about
things.
working out or something.
Am I allowed to promote The Offer?
I don't know. Who fucking knows?
It's not your project.
At all.
I don't know
knows?
the rules.
Okay.
Shall we do it?
Yeah,
Shall we
yeah,
go to
yeah,
some?
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
get
Let's
some
get
of
out of
these
this trouble.
messages, folks. Listen to these messages, all right? And then we'll see you back here in a second. And we're back! Daniel and I just did a little no snow, and we are excited.
Wow, we did that as though we had come back from the middle break.
Oh, that's right. Let's go to the letters! That no snow. Wait, what in the fuck?
Hold on. Stop fighting me.
Oh,
Stop fighting me.
oh. Thought we would come out holding hands.
Oh.
The fuck is this?
Wait.
think
Will
we'd
you
be like-
fix?
Is there no? There's nothing we can do to make this not have to happen. I know people got a little
All
bit of water.
that. All
Well,
that.
Is there
nothing
all
we can
that
do to the
to do
pages?
this. Okay. Here we go.
We maybe did do coke.
I wonder what that felt like just listening to it.
Oh yeah, the Marx Brothers. It was as good as the Marx Brothers. Dear Rory, go ahead.
And Daniel.
Oh, that's nice that they included your name. I'm that level now.
This
I
is-
can't believe they included you.
This is stationary.
That's from Scott A. Gooden.
Dear Rory and Daniel, don't say my name.
Lissa moved so swiftly to the mic and then just
Bailed?
she thought better of it and
Good.
just went,
Good.
"No."
Let's leave it there. Dear Rory and Daniel, I am writing you on some very snazzy stationery that my girlfriend Kendall gave me as a present early in our relationship. We both really enjoy
Not
the
a
show.
bad early gift, Kendall, with a
Here's-
good gift early on in the relation.
Here's my question, and I'm reading this for you because
Well, for all of us.
I know, but I mean, what's that? Or
Wait, does it say for me?
no, but I'm just saying, what's that word?
Let me see it.
There's no way. It took me a long time.
Kazakhstan?
Good job. Here we go. I meant not to figure out the words, to sound it out. When I was 9 years old, my family moved.
That's how you figure out the word.
It took me a long time. My family moved to Almaty, Kazakhstan,
I don't know.
for
You
2
snatched
years. My dad worked for the FBI at the time
Okay.
and accepted the assignment gladly after visiting the country several times before. Everyone in my family had a say in whether or not we would go, and I agreed because he was so excited about doing it. However, as a third grader, had not thought ahead about how this would mean leaving my friends and school behind.
Third grade. Wow, I'm nervous about moving from L.A. to another state.
And while the
in
school
same
we
country.
attended there had an international English-speaking program, this started in middle school, which meant that I spent fourth grade as the only English-speaking student in what was mostly an immersive Russian-speaking environment. It was a pretty miserable experience at the time, But I am now able to look back and be grateful for what it for it as it has shaped who I am today.
Interesting.
Rory,
Okay. This feels
if
very
this
directed.
kind of opportunity came up for you, how would you balance Elliot's comfort, happiness, with the potential? I'm sorry.
You know what is so funny? It's
Benefits
It's
of
more funny to imagine that it's not you trying to interpret the handwriting, but you just
Can't
trying to
read.
like you're just like, I don't know.
Bu-
What is this word? It's like, Daniel, you read every week. Every day you're reading something.
I'm in a real flowers for Algernon situation. With the potential benefits of life experience down the road. Daniel, I extend the same question for any children you may have one day. Love the show. Thanks for the laughs and companionship. Scott. P.S. In the FabFitFun ad from way back in the day, is the promo code Top Show or Talk Show? Scott.
Wait, what is that?
I guess at one point we did one ad.
Let me see.
Sound it out.
Wait, how old is this letter?
We just got it.
Scott.
But when is what for Scott listening?
That's true, too.
Fab Fit Fun.
We must have done an ad. That's got to be Starburns.
Fab Fit Fun.
R.I.P.
I'm gonna tell you what, Scott. It's Top Show. It's Top Show. So go there, hit in Top Show, and
The idea that someone wants to get healthy. Our reading of the ad made them believe this app could be the key to their personal success.
yeah.
And has been like, I'm not signing up until I find out what the promo code was. That probably doesn't even work anymore.
Can I also just
I
put
love
out there?
our pen pals.
What I love is that Scott went to a school where he was the only one who spoke a language, and he had to figure it out. But Scott decided to not just try 2 different attempts at the promo code.
Or, that's fun. That's way more funner. Or he is in a heated argument with some other pen pal about what it is.
Yeah, knowing that they can't find out because
Right.
it's gone. And they're like, wait, well, which one was it back then?
Or we read the ad so bad because we used to go, hey, you're listening to the Bells. We got it out of here for you. We read
love
the ad
that.
so bad that they can't tell.
Scott, you're an enigma. This is every bit of this is enigma, but truly just that last little dash of salt you put on at the end.
Also, is it weird that I have a feeling about the fact that he chose green ink? Not a negative, but that's a choice.
It's not always a choice. Sometimes it's the pen that's lying around.
So you're going to go with stationery and then be like, whatever, pen,
Sometimes.
but not whatever paper?
Sometimes.
Okay.
He also maybe always uses green
Right. He could
because
be a
he feels
green
like
pen
that's
guy.
unique.
GPG.
Every element of this is unique to him.
Right.
What was
that's
the
what they
letter
did in
about at
Russia.
all? All I can think about is the promo code.
Top show?
I will tell you this.
Shout out to any future advertiser who, as a joke, makes the promo code that we read
Yeah.
Top Show.
Top Show. Scott, my quickest answer, my quickest and most succinct.
Yeah. We both had problems with the word today.
I have problems. I have more problems than you can even imagine.
I doubt it because I'm living them.
First off, I don't know how to do a proper impression of Sam Elliott.
Is that what you're going for?
It's close.
Well, I can help you there, brother.
What if you met him and he was like, "Hi, Daniel, thanks for being a fan." And you're like, "Oh, well, you are a good actor."
You know what? I thought about it, and some cowboys could be gay.
Yeah. Like, Sam, you really are a great actor. You should. People should know this.
And action. I'm back here.
Beef.
Wyatt.
I want beef, whiskey, and a cigarette.
Wyatt. We gotta go kill those men.
Here's what I think. That is your dad got a job offer. You went to Kazakhstan.
I love that he was like-
love that later in life you were able to look back
And be like, maybe your input shouldn't have been included.
I
Well, we'll let him decide, and he wants to do it. He's in 3rd grade.
I gotta say I would not be able to handle it as easily. I think very heavily about my daughter's experiences, and while kids are adaptive and they look back and these things are fine, I mean, that's so extreme, and so he looks back and sees the benefit of it, or like is like, oh, I was changed by it. It really informed me how to like navigate. I can't help but always like, oh, did she get the you try to not apply so much of what you did do in your life or what you didn't do in your life to your child. You don't it's hard to look at your child's life as their own unique experience that doesn't require happiness derived from how you gained your happiness or things that you liked. For instance, if this helps paint the picture for everybody, there's a world where you have a son or daughter and they don't give a fuck about a cabin or a lake or any of that, and you would be like, but what do you mean? This is so fun and this is the thing. And the reality is they don't derive their joy from the same it isn't the same thing, and that they don't get the thing that you got from your elders that was obtained through a location and all this with your grandfather and all that stuff. Those were also circumstances that inspired those relationships that were amplified by that location. That the combination of what led you in your life to find nostalgic joy in your space that became your home is those aren't the same ingredients applied to your child as to what they find joy in. And so I would say I use that as an example of where you and I would sit here and go, fucking, your kid doesn't like the lake. It's fun. You go for a week. Who gives a shit? It's fun. Like, you would still go do it. Yeah. But it doesn't mean your kid ever attaches to it the way you do.
Right.
And so I mean to say is I live in this world of going, I want to constantly be aware of that, even though it's very difficult. And I find that with an only child, I oftentimes spoil my kid way too much, and I now understand why people have spoiled their kids is because it isn't out of some hoity-toity kind of like, I want my kid to have everything because they need to possess everything. It's because you are in this like constant tornado of wanting to provide good like these good feelings, these vibes of all these things, like, and it can also be a detriment to your kid. Your kid needs to know what boredom is like and find their own way out of boredom, or experience what boredom is, or experience these like loneliness and rejection, and all of that is not. Those are not necessarily negative. They're like positive life experiences that create, that teach us how to cope and stuff. I factor all that in when I'm like, oh, I want to move out of Los Angeles. Like right now, we want to move to out of Los Angeles to potentially Colorado, and yet we're in a position of being like, my kid's already in school with her friends, and then we move to another thing, and I never did that, and I that might have affected me negatively. And I look at it that way instead of looking at it like, oh, but also what if it changes our lives for the absolute better? Right. And she goes, oh my God, I love it. I didn't know that a neighborhood could feel like this, or friendships could be like this, or being on the soccer team, or that winter felt like this, So I would say I get very emotional about it, way twisted up, way more than I should. Because in reality, sometimes you just have to make decisions and you just go for it and you pay the price of it, and that's just how it goes when you're a family.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my short answer.
Do you think that
that was my succinct answer.
Succinct pieces. Do you think that?
I think I fucking hate that word, honestly.
Succinct?
Yeah. Succinct.
Do you think that there's a cutoff age at which you would definitely not move your child? I have one.
Middle school, maybe. Definitely not high school.
Definitely not high school.
But maybe
anytime
not
before
middle
freshman year.
Yeah, because you don't necessarily end up, like, for instance, I didn't transfer middle school to, like, my high school experience was all brand new.
But Rochelle, it was just
the same.
High school just brought in some of the farming communities.
To like, smaller,
from those smaller grade schools.
Yeah.
But
middle school for me,
everybody I was in junior high with, I was in high school with.
I went kindergarten to 8th grade at the same school with mostly the same people in a class of no more than 40. I think maybe not more than 30, and then went off to a high school where I think 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 of us went from that middle school off to that other high school.
In my friend group, there's 16 of us. One of those guys joined us in high school.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah. I gotta say, that's actually pretty shocking, knowing that you came from such a small town. Like, that's really shocking.
Well, no, I mean, there were a couple guys like who were from Creston, which is like the next small little farming community over, and they came in.
Yeah.
But they knew the area and they had known some of the other people in the group.
Yeah.
But they didn't go to junior high.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
one friend literally moved from the Chicago suburbs before freshman year started, and is now like one of my and our closest friends.
Yeah.
And I think that's because you can still, going into freshman year, it is still such a new chapter for everybody that with activities, whether that's chess club or foreign language club or football or soccer,
Great examples.
still-
Every single one of those.
you
great
still can form new relationships and have activities.
examples. That's right.
You know, and it's interesting thing you said too about like the thing that could negatively affect your child may not at all because they're different from you, and the thing that you hope gives them all this joy could be something they're not interested in.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, my cousin, Kenny,
Shout out, Kenny.
played football,
Shout out football.
all 4 years of high school,
Shout out high school.
was great, very good player, scored touchdowns, was a starter.
Wasn't
awesome.
asked to, but still did.
Yep.
He was told to block.
Then his younger brother, my cousin Ben, was in, he was a singer and he was in band and in marching band.
Yeah.
And I remember once my uncle Ken saying, this was after I was out of high school, after Kenny was out of high school and Ben was now in high school. He goes,
now in high school.
Ben was in high school,
Yep.
yeah. And he was like, I get as pumped up for watching Ben do marching band as I did watching Kenny play football.
Yeah.
And I thought, how fucking great
How great is Uncle Ken?
is that? You know, that like a guy.
Yes,
I mean,
Aunt Connie, you're great too. It's about Ken right
She
now.
is.
Jesus Christ.
but like, Uncle Ken's best day is let's grab a case of Busch Light. I'm going to do stuff around the house all day and we're going to have college football on.
But his best day was when you brought me around, and
They do love
he said
you.
that.
Yeah.
He said this is the best day of my
Uh-huh.
life.
He goes, I get as pumped watching Rory eat schoolhouse
Food
chicken.
that I
did
paid
it for you. I said the name. Yeah. But a lot,
I get as pumped to give Rory a free ride to Chicago as I do.
he did give us that right.
He did.
But like, Ken is my Uncle Ken is a great guy, and he loves football, and he loved watching Kenny play football, and that's his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But when another one of his sons said, I actually like doing this, he goes, that gives you joy, you love doing that, I'm in.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And he got jazzed
Yeah.
to see his one son perform on the football field with a ball in his hand and the other one with, a saxophone. Like,
Yeah.
it just.
Was it a saxophone?
I honestly don't remember.
I don't think it was.
Might have been the clarinet.
I don't think they do saxophones.
In marching band?
Do they do saxophones in marching band?
Oh yeah.
I was going to say they do.
It's one
It
of
was a
the
trick
main
question.
ones.
I knew. Yeah, I knew.
Welcome to Lissa's Nerd Corner.
Hey, you're in Nerd Corner with Lissa Rubin.
I was the pep band conductor in high school.
All right, we already called it Nerd Corner.
Yeah.
You don't got to call it Mega Nerd Corner.
Loserville.
Well, Daniel and I were on the field. I never played football. But
The drumline-
I played European football.
The drumline was fucking cool, kids.
The movie.
oh. the
Is that
movie.
true? Drumline was cool, kids?
Yeah. The drumline had this, like, sort of
Rhythm.
devil may care, like, fuck off word drumline.
Yeah.
During homecoming week on Friday, the drumline at some point
Beat
would
up
just
the football team. Shut up! You shut up! Get out of here, Drumline! Why do you treat us like this? Succinct! We're homecoming!
they would go through the halls
Succinct.
and play like a cadence.
Yeah.
And eventually, when they passed your classroom, it was kind of this unwritten rule that you could leave class and start following them. And eventually, they would have everybody through the school leading to homecoming, to the pep rally, following drumline. It was like,
Yeah.
and it was over. And it was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
But I've never seen Friday Night Lights.
Yeah. Wow. I can't believe you've never seen Friday Night. That was a long answer.
Sorry.
That you went all the way back to Friday Night Lights.
Well, because it made me think of how football intense they were.
believe
That
you've never
show
seen
would probably
Friday Night
resonate
Lights.
with me.
You
I've
really should
started
see it.
I've started it, remember? I just haven't kept going.
I never watched the last episode.
Because
just
you don't
have
want it to end?
Have it in your
Uh-huh.
heart forever.
Yeah.
You really should.
Weirdo.
They both die.
Hey!
What? You're never gonna watch it.
I thought you were
And
going to
neither
go.
will she.
I thought you were going to go. You don't know which both.
Yeah, you don't know which both. Just another couple of characters.
Do you remember what happened, Rory?
Hey, stop.
Let her finish.
When I was pep inductor.
The moment you realized you had the hots for Tim Riggins,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's like a moment that happens.
I met Lila Garrity at Runyon Canyon. I should have asked her to do the show.
We were flying somewhere and connected in Utah, and we got off the plane, and this is in the height of us watching the show. And by the way, we started watching the show, I think, way later.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes, I think that was Tim Riggins at the gate. And I go, really? And she goes, yeah, Taylor Kitsch. And I go, oh. I go say hi to him. You should go talk to him. And she was like, really? I go, yeah, who cares? And so she went up and was just like, I'm such a big fan of the show. And he was the nicest. I didn't see any of this, but she was like, oh my God, he was so nice and so like grateful and all that. And I was just like, God, just think if we would have put our time in, we could have had a threesome with Taylor Kitsch. You know, and where do I fall in that?
Where do you fall in that?
Am I allowed to even be there
You're all you're
Do I
going to
get
do is
kicked
keep
out?
kissing Jordan.
and staring at Taylor Kitsch?
Oh, man, if she still listens to the show, she'd love this moment.
She doesn't listen to the show anymore, and I get it.
I get it,
I
too.
get it.
I get
Yeah,
it,
I mean, this is what we always talk about: is Taylor Kitsch and the threesome with him. So yeah, I get it. Why would you listen to
We
this?
should get Taylor on. Or at least Plums.
I'm gonna get Taylor on.
Okay.
I'm gonna Instagram him today.
Or Adrian Palicki.
I gotta say, Instagram DM. I just swing at everybody, and I just see who goes. All right.
I took a swing yesterday. And I love you for it.
I took a swing yesterday.
Well, you guys are doing a show together. Now you get to bring it up and be like, hey, I messaged
No,
you.
he's not on that show. Just the bass player. So
Oh.
my in.
Oh, okay.
I tried to get Dave Matthews, guys. I'll get him. Don't you worry. I'll get him. I'll get him on this show.
All right, I feel like we did it.
We did do it.
Yeah.
God, that was a fun. I love a letter where we're just kind of in a dream state.
Yeah, well, that's the medication.
Oh,
All right, Scott.
Yeah, Scott.
Nice stationery. Get the order correct next
Yeah,
time.
Scott. Wait, no, I like the order, Scott.
We wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals, Scovel Van Daniel.
And Daniel Van Rory. And we're back!
From North Carolina. That's Wayne Messmer, I think.
Yep, no, I know. Plugs and hugs with us cute little bugs. Daniel and Rory. That's the wrong order. Fuck, I hate it when I do it.
You're nice.
I'm a good person. RoryScovel.com for all my tour dates.
Check. This is how you promote. Check out my IMDb. See what I've been on. See if you
See
can
what I've
still
been on.
consume any of that.
See if you like any of that stuff, and if any of it's still coming out every Wednesday, watch
You're
it.
towing a line.
I'm towing the line.
I'm in the same boat as I may have been before or after, whatever you. I don't know when is what.
You love being
but
on boats.
There's a thing. That's all I'll say. I'm on tour though. Go to danielvankirk.com if you are in states like Wisconsin, Ohio, Illinois, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New York, Pennsylvania.
Just say your
Texas.
website. Just say go to Daniel Van Kirk. How can you ever remember that you don't? They don't know. That
I know
just-
you. Yeah, I know.
Guys, go to
worried
danielvankirk.com. What are you worried about?
I want to tell them.
You need to be more succinct about it and just have them go to
Okay.
one place.
All right, I'll be succinct. 11/11, the Lincoln Lodge. It's my special and album taping, produced and directed by Lissa Rubin. Album recording for Blonde Medicine. It's 2 shows. It might sell out. If it does,
It's
I hope
gonna
it's
sell
because
out. Just
people
get the
like
tickets.
you,
It's gonna
pen
sell out.
pals, are there. Go to danielvankirk.com. That's on 11/11, and there's a whole bunch of more fun stuff happening too.
Let's go to this letter that's inside this.
What's that say?
I think this is from the last letter. Should I read it?
Let me see it.
Dear Rory and Daniel, we went to Rory's show at the Bell House in Brooklyn on 4/22, 7 p.m., but we could not figure out who to give our letter to. Sincerely yours, Scott and Kendall.
Oh.
Yeah, if you do bring letters to any of the shows, first off, if they're this size, this is great because I can easily put this in my bag and keep it going. But yeah, I'd say maybe Grant at the merch table. Sometimes I come out after the show. Sometimes I have a second show and I
Ask
don't
for a
come
manager.
out. Or ask for a manager. But thank you. Thank you for coming out. So I guess this is from Kendall.
Yep. First one was from Scott.
April 22nd, the Bell House, KTS. Now this is stationary?
Station envelope.
I don't know what this
Envelope
is.
area?
I've never even started. This is unheard of.
Personalized card.
Hey, fellas.
Hey.
When my mom... What did Scott open with? My name?
Yeah.
Hey, fellas. When my mom was in her 20s, her family had a discussion one night at dinner. Would you rather lose your mind or your body? My grandma said she'd rather lose her body in order to keep her mind. When I was 3, she died of Alzheimer's. My grandpa said he'd rather lose his mind, and when I was 7, he passed from ALS.
Whoa.
This leads me to my questions for you. 1. What are your answers to my family's infamous dinner table question? I mean,
That's lore. That's some family
we
lore.
do not get this deep at the dinner table. We say, how was your day? 2, are you superstitious? Sincerely, your pen pal, Kendall. P.S. My partner grew the shoe, so for our anniversary, I bought him personalized stationery to write into the pod, along with a pin engraved with the day and time he first became a paler.
How great
Ding,
is that?
ding, 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 ding. Kendall, jeez, love it.
Think of that. She commemorated her love for Scott, whose letter we just read,
Yeah,
by giving him a pen that had the date he first became a paler.
yeah.
That's so nice.
So
So this is a couple that came to your show.
they came to the show, and I'm not gonna lie, they came to one of the best shows of the tour. I crushed it.
Bell House.
I can
Bell
the
House is such a
early
great
Bell House
space.
show. I fucking ripped it up.
Yeah. They
And
have
I
a good
tore it, and
green
then
room,
I
too.
tore it down, and then I fucking
Rebuilt it.
I torched it.
Yeah. Like a cabin.
Body or mind, Daniel? Body or mind? And there is no winning.
Right.
There is
Because
no
the body-
there's no winning, and there's only
The
there's only
body's
losing.
so frustrating. And the mind is so
they
scary.
need each other, don't they?
The mind is so scary. And I don't say this lightly, and I don't say it because it's he's an
I have
actor
my
in
answer.
in your favorite movie. But Michael J. Fox has given me a lot of credence to feel that you want to keep your mind, as well as Stephen Hawking. And I
I was
forget
going to
his
say
name.
Stephen Hawking.
The guy who played for the Saints, who blocked that punt on the first game back after Hurricane Katrina, and like became like an iconic moment for that city and for that team. And then he has ALS.
Yep.
And
Steve Gleason.
I'm sorry,
Steve Gleason.
Steve Gleason.
Did you
If
look that up, or did you just know that?
But
You just said no to a either or.
I
she looked it up,
looked
but
it
she
up.
remembers it because she knew it too. ESPN, I think, did a 30 for 30 or something, or like a big segment about him, which is pretty powerful if you can find it and watch it. So
I have my answer.
when I think of body, that makes me think of Get Out, right? Where you're still in there.
Yep. The hypnosis thing,
Yeah.
or the entire theme of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. God.
I think, man, I don't want to get dark, but I guess we're at dinner.
Also, what are they having that would take them down such a?
I guess I'd say mine because if you, or I lose my body.
Could
Because
you imagine they just put grilled burgers and they're like,
all right, burgers. You said you wanted Munster, right? Yeah, but what do you want, mind or body?
oh god,
Wow.
the food's so good though. The fries are like McDonald's, but
You
they're
made
homemade.
these? You made these? So yeah, I think I'd want to keep my mind because even when you lose your body, even if you lose your mind, you might go and it doesn't hurt you as much. It's certainly going to hurt the people who love you.
I think mind I would want to maintain
Yes.
because it seems to me historically we see that there is like I think you can still, you know, you don't need your physical self to kind of still be here. But I do think when the mental starts to fade, and I think we're talking more specifically Alzheimer's and dementia. I think when that starts to fade, or, you know, take over, it almost is like, well, yes, you're physically still here, but it doesn't mean that you can still be here in a way. And I don't want that to sound offensive or hurtful, but I think what I'm trying to say is Stephen Hawking still here his whole life, mentally there. Michael J. Fox, same. He might find, you know, obviously there are hurdles.
Yeah. Did you watch that doc?
I haven't watched it yet.
Neither have I.
But I think with dementia, I don't know what you, and totally correct me on this, but I don't know what you still do. I don't know what, other than just kind of wait.
You're monitored a lot.
You're monitored, and I don't know that you're still, it's not like you have dementia and you go, I don't know, I think I'll still go play basketball. I don't, do you still do that stuff? I think when you have those things, it sort of also debilitates your physical self.
Yeah.
Because I think I don't know that you still are able to actively take care of yourself. That's why I say they need the two. And I would say that everyone, for what you have, whatever your situation is, have gratitude for what you're capable of doing and not necessarily worry so much about what you're incapable of. But my assumption is I would rather lose my physical self, because I think with the mental self, I'm still a spiritual mental presence for those around me and for myself, and fully aware of myself. I'm now actively trying to, dietary wise, figure out what combats Alzheimer's and dementia, because I don't know, I've gotten off pot for the most of this year. I decided, you know, I've been smoking pot for a really long time and doing a lot of stand-up, getting high a lot. What is it like to not do that? And so most of this year, I have not. I would say I'm 99% of the year I haven't smoked. I remember one time I smoked in San Diego for a show in early May. I couldn't tell you before that when the last time was. And it's, you know, it's not because I'm against pot. I love it. I miss it. But I'm like, oh, I should experiment with what the other side of being an adult without that is, because I don't know it. And so I'm also researching, like, what are healthy brain foods that I could be, you know, eating? So, like, gaining better memory, gaining better, you know, mental whatever. So I would say my own actions facilitate that I have a high function on mental. Before getting this, oh, here it is. Sort of where it went. Before getting this question, I was already actively trying to go mental. Lissa?
So
wrong, mental.
When I was the pep conductor.
I conducted.
My maternal grandfather died from Alzheimer's. My paternal grandmother died from ALS. They both had it for
Did you write this?
a very long time.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
And
Kendall's an anagram for Lissa.
My grandmother was visiting, and they were both at my house at the same time, and in separate conversations, my grandpa, this was early days in his Alzheimer's, and he was like, I cannot imagine having ALS. Like, I cannot imagine what that would be like for her. And then in a separate conversation I had with her, she was like, I cannot imagine what it would be like to have Alzheimer's and to lose my mental function.
Yeah.
What I'll say from my experience with both of them is my grandfather's situation was harder on us than it was on him.
Yeah.
Once he was gone,
That's what I'm saying.
he was gone.
Yeah.
And so it was more
But he doesn't have an awareness of that.
Nope.
But also
There's
we don't
early
know
stages.
what his here's what I wonder.
There's early stages where
he was really angry, and
like,
it
"Why did I
lasted a
do
very
that?" Or
long
like, "Where was
time.
I?"
It was like
I think you would get frustrated. You can't remember. You can't recall.
Oh, it
and I
was
think
really
that irritates you.
frustrating. He wouldn't let go of
Yeah.
that, and at the point that he let go, he was a happier, calmer person.
Well, there's a TikTok, I showed it to you, where this guy's dad has moved in with them because he has dementia, and he's putting on his shoes, and he was like, I live here? And he goes, yep. And he's like, how long for? And he goes, you've been here about a year, Dad. He's like, and what am I doing today? And he goes, we're just going to hang out. Huh. So I don't remember? And he goes, no, you don't, Dad, but it's okay. Huh, what happened to me? And he goes, you got old. And he goes, well, looks like you got old too. He's like, yep, I got old too, Dad. Like, he had just he had
resigned to
surrendered.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which some
what
people
I
can
want
do
to
and
know
some
is,
can't,
and I don't know
depending
that
on how
we'll
it affects
ever
you.
get to know it, because I think when you're experiencing it, you probably can't communicate this back. But do you lose what is our internal voice of talking to ourselves? You know how we're always talking to ourselves constantly.
Yeah. No, that changes.
That's what I wonder. Like,
where that says hey, you needed to go find somebody.
I
And
wonder
so you
where that
wander,
goes,
because your
or
inner
if
monologue
it
tells you
stays
that.
and just inside your head, you're like, "Fuck, dude, I don't remember," and you're like literally saying that to yourself. Or is
sometimes you think you
dementia
remember.
that dementia? Because keep in mind, what would your life be like without that internal voice being? Because that is who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is dementia the extinguishing of that voice, and that's why you're like,
I don't know.
"Oh, I don't remember because I haven't been talking to myself anymore."
Can I ask you a question spun off of this?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about if you'd rather die in a way where you know you're gonna die or are dying, or die like snuffing out a candle?
I think like that.
Because I imagine someone falling from a far height or drowning.
Yeah.
They know that they're, and some people would say that, does that give you time to think about the things you'd want to think about? Or maybe if you are in a room, say something you were going to say because you feel you're bleeding out.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And so you can say some of the things you'd say. Or do you want to light?
I think I would want to light. I also, and I don't know how dark this is, I also hope for the light situation for everybody. I hope it's not like, and that's that's selfish me just going, oh, I just feel like for everybody we'd all be like and gone. So the reality of it, and I think we had a discussion with Scott before he passed away. I think it was during the pandemic or during quarantine, early quarantine, and he was like, people. He goes, in my experience, he goes, I don't think anyone's really afraid of death. He's like, I think everyone's just afraid of the action of dying because you don't know what that's going to feel like. And our assumption is it's going to be wildly painful. It's going to be like some painful
scary,
thing.
very, very scary.
And scary in that, like, oh, what's happening? And I think in the actual action of death, I think something happens to where it maybe is more euphoric and less scary and more like oh, the light, oh my god, you're almost, it's like someone just shot you up with morphine in that moment, and so you don't sit there and go, oh, I just felt my entire body shut down and die. I mean, obviously who knows, but I wonder if in that moment I think we also have this fear of death because we have this preconceived notion of reality and like what our existence is, and I think people negatively are like, but then I'm not around anymore, and I think a lot of people don't embrace the beautiful mystery of, well, what does that mean? What does it mean to not be around anymore? Because what is next, or what isn't next, or
for the person who died,
for the person who's dying or going to die.
Yeah.
Like I think about it all the time. I think, what if we live on these timelines where, there is another world where your grandfather is alive and he mourned your death at 15 years old. And he's going, Daniel was in that car accident. And that's his timeline. But your timeline that you're currently aware of in this string theory of things is that's your, this is the energy and the what you're getting from this moment and this time and this timeline is, when this ends, what did you gain from it? Because maybe when this ends, you go right back into something else. Like that theory, I think we've said on the show a lot, but theory that every single day you wake up, you don't really have, I mean, maybe someone shoots this down, but I like thinking that it's fun to think about. But you don't really have some proof that before now ever existed. You can't go, well, yeah, but history, we have all this stuff like, but also, what if when you wake up, someone just downloads you into this world and they go, yeah, Daniel, no, this is your life. You grew up in Rochelle and now you're in LA and here's why. And like every day, like what if truly today is the very first day you've ever existed? And what if it's the only one that ever exists and you only have this assumption that tomorrow occurs? And you're sitting here going, yeah, but right now I'm living inside proof that tomorrow exists because I'm in it right now. You don't know that. Right. That whole theory of like, well, how do I live in just now? Because you don't actually have any proof that beyond this exists or before this exists. You don't really actually have something that says 100% for sure. And so when you look at your expanse of your lifetime, you look at it and you go, well, what is to say that the thing that I'm afraid of going into, I'm not already in it? This could already be it. You could already be in the thing that you're afraid to die and go into. Like, you might already be inside death. You might be about to be born tomorrow. You have it's unlimited. It's truly an infinite. I don't know what got me into that, but I like looking at things in sort of in that regard to like handle the idea of death. Like, especially when my daughter asked me, like, what is it? To say we don't know. And that isn't tragic. It's beautiful.
Right.
It's so beautiful that you don't know where and she'll go, well, what happens? And I go, well, where were you before you were born? And she's like, I don't know. And I go, exactly. Maybe right now you're in the space before you're born. It could be right now.
Yeah.
This is the depth and the layers of everything. You're only perceiving everything as it is because we've all agreed on all of these elements. But truthfully, as we all sit here in this room, there's no proof that you alone are the only one having this experience. Liz and I maybe don't really exist in anything. It's just for Daniel. You have created this whole concoction in your mind of all of these things.
You don't need weed.
What's that?
You don't need weed. Your third eye's open.
Thank you.
I mean that.
And that's why I said all that.
Do you know?
I read that this morning. Wouldn't that just crush it?
What if you
I read all that on the back of a
Or you
cereal
didn't
box,
read it
but
this
maybe
morning.
I knew it. But maybe I put it there. But I will say it's why I do sometimes think about that Gandhi quote, be the change you wish to see in the world. Not specifically because what that's telling you is, hey, if you want someone to be nice, you should be nice. I think, what if truly your balance of your physical and mental self that you decide to really care about actually does have a butterfly effect on a grander scale of then all these things that maybe scare you about, well, how can we actually help the world or change the world? Are we too far gone? Is it too many people? Is it too negative? Is there a world where that you can affect that massive change if you literally just try on your
Yourself
one thing
to
you
be
do
the
have
change
control
that you
over,
hope to see.
decisions and behaviors?
Yeah.
If you change those, can that be enough to have what I like to call an Oppenheimer effect?
Well, that's a
That's
huge
how I like to bookend things.
one. I will say too, from the loss point of view of dying, I've lost 4 people this summer in my life.
Bragging. I know, it's just a dark joke.
Still funny. And
But what if he is? I'm like, I've only lost 2.
yeah. And the ones that died in a way to where it was like a slow decline, and I've experienced this in other ways too. It really feels like they died because it was like real.
Yeah.
And then the one of them that was very sudden, it just feels like they're gone.
Unrealistic.
It just feels like they're gone.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like they died.
Yeah.
It just feels like they're gone.
Yeah.
And who they were the last time I saw them is where they will live in my
Yes.
space, in my universe forever.
Yes.
Because I never saw any. They were just one day gone.
Yes. Yeah.
And the other ones, you can't. That's the shitty thing about having time to. The benefit of saying goodbye is you also have the detriment of really watching death creep over this person.
Yes.
And that always lives there, and that's so hard too.
Yes.
Because death really fucking took you 12 rounds
Yeah.
rather than like first round knockout, and you're like, what, did the fight even happen?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And so it's an interesting way. I don't know which is better, honestly, because
Yeah.
there is some benefit in that person always living in that same age at that same space the last time I saw them in that setting. But then there's also benefit in being able to like bend over a hospital bed and kiss somebody goodbye.
I know.
I-
It's another. I mean, it's like the first question in general. There's no winning.
Right.
It's like mental and
Find the
physical. You're like,
benefit that you can.
what is the? You're like,
Yeah.
what is the? It's almost like voting in America. What's the lesser of the two evils?
Yeah.
We're out of time.
Okay.
One word response. Are you superstitious?
Not really.
2 words.
Well, I have this thing. If I
What's
answer
that?
with one word, it makes me feel like I'm going to have bad
Shut
luck.
the fuck up. It makes me feel like I'll die instantly.
Michael Scott said, I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious, and that's how I feel. That's me.
Rory?
Maybe. Is it one word? I actually really don't know.
Then you're probably not.
But here's the thing. There was a time when I was doing a show and I went and got a green juice that day, and then I felt really lit up and healthy, and I was like, ooh, that green juice is... But, like, it's
That's
not
a
so much superstition as the fact that
creature
it
of-
is actually benefiting my mental
That's a creature of habit.
strength.
That's a
'cause I'm
creature
like,
of habit.
Oh, I ate healthy, and so then I felt...
You're not saying I'll have a bad show if I don't do this. You're saying I felt like I had a good show because I did this.
I don't
That's
think
creature
I
of habit
am.
versus
I don't think I am superstitious.
Okay.
But I do think that if I think about things too long negatively, that I cause them. Is that the same? Or is that I just need to see a therapist?
Yeah. To all.
All encompassing.
Yeah.
Kendall, the fact that you wrote ding, 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 I mean, just
You get
Jiminy
it.
Christmas. You get it. We wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals, Rory Vanderscoven.
Ooh. I'm not good at it. Daniel Van Kirk. That was that mountain I couldn't climb.